When I decided I wanted to be a freelancer, when I started freelancing, one of the things I did is I was afraid of getting rejected. For me, sending proposals, getting no response was agonizing. For me, and more than that, sending, proposals, offering my services to people, contacting people, and getting them to reject me violently, like being really rude with me. That was really probably the worst thing that could happen. I really was afraid of rejection. And so what I did is I went on to go on YouTube, on the internet, to try to find methods, ways where I could be able to contact companies while avoiding getting rejected, avoiding getting ignored. For example, let's say I was doing Upwork. I tried to make the best proposal possible, the best profile possible, the best messages possible to maximize my chances of actually not sending proposals for nothing, not messaging people for nothing, or getting rejected savagely. When I started doing email, I did the same thing. I went on and learned how to write good emails as much as I could, and did all I could to basically avoid these rejections. And recently, I've been reading a very interesting book on prospecting, on how to find jobs as a freelancer or as finding clients for businesses. Basically, the book is called Fanatical Prospecting. It's an amazing book. It's probably one of the best books I can recommend to you if you want to be a freelancer. And basically, the author, Jeb Blunt, basically spent pretty much all of his sales career. He's a salesman. He did cold calls. You may be thinking cold calls, you don't want to be doing cold calls. You want to be doing Upwork, email, or another method. But there's a lot to learn from cold calling, because it's very similar to using Upwork and using email. And basically what he's found is over the years, he's become sort of a sales manager. And he was in charge of managing a team of a lot of salesmen, showing them how to do it, showing them how to get better results with cold calling and with email. And what he's found is consistently, people would struggle to find jobs or clients, not because they weren't good enough at emailing or good enough at calling, but pretty much because they weren't calling enough. You see, the thing is, you can get really good at writing good emails. You can get really good at writing proposals. You can get really good at cold calling. But the thing is, if you only send one email a day, it's not going to be very effective. The thing is, the guy who is not as good as you but sends 10 emails a day or 20, or the guy who calls 10 times more people is going to have more success than you. And what he's found is, salesmen, oftentimes they work 8 hours a day, but most of their time is not spent calling people. It's not spent sending emails. It's not spent talking with people. Most of the time they spend working is just themselves trying to muster up the courage to call another person. It's just them struggling with their inner demons of, I don't want to call, but I got to do it. And they would spend more time just being afraid of their next call than actually calling. And what he's found is that the biggest thing that has allowed his team to get more success was not to show them how to get better at calling, but it was to show them to stop wasting time between their calls. And just by making them call back to back to back to back, or send emails back to back to back, or in your case, maybe send Upwork proposals back to back to back, they ended up getting so many replies. Yes, some of them were negative, a lot of them were ignored and all that sort of thing, but they started having a lot more results, because this thing is, even if your conversion rate is just like 10%, if you can call 50 people a day, that's like 5 people that end up being your clients. But even if you have like a 95% conversion rate, even if you're like the most amazing guy at finding clients by emails, if you have the best emails possible, if you just send one email per day, that's still on average 0.95 clients a day. The guy who only closes 10% of the people, but sends 50 emails a day is going to beat you. He's going to have more clients. He's going to have a bigger abundance, which allows him to only choose to work with the clients he wants to work with the most. So ultimately, a lot of you may watch this video, think it's scary. You know, you don't want to be you don't want to work that much. You don't want to work that hard. But the thing is, you're wasting probably so much energy right now just fearing your next call, you're just waiting for your next action that you don't want to do and just dreading it. There's so much waste of time and energy there just in the anticipation of that next task, that just by cutting that anticipation and just working when you're supposed to work instead of just being afraid of working, you're going to end your day not having really worked more or spent more energy. Because the truth is, sending emails is a lot less energy to consuming and a lot less emotionally draining, in my opinion, than being afraid of sending emails. It is difficult to, beat your inner self who doesn't want to, keep working. But when you manage to do it, oftentimes I end my days feeling really fulfilled and having accomplished probably 10 times more than when I don't push myself to really do what I should be doing and really work when I'm saying that I'm going to be working, really work instead of work 10% of the time and spend the rest just waiting and feeling bad because I don't want to work, right? So think about it. A lot of your success, a lot of your effectiveness as a freelancer is going to come from developing the habit of just working and not waiting.